Greetings, fellow cultivators. Welcome to Audio Nova. Remember to like and subscribe to support the journey. Today, we're diving into the story of what's the point of cultivating immortality if you don't have money. Spirit Realm. A mental world jointly created by the 10 great sects. As the exam officially began, Xiong Yu felt his consciousness being pulled out of his physical body and transported to another world. A gentle breeze lightly caressed his hair, and his buttocks felt the hard sensation of sitting on a chair. When Xiong Yu opened his eyes, he found himself in an ordinary classroom. Inside the classroom sat dozens of students of similar age from various high schools. This was the spirit realm, a mental world distinct from the real world. The spirit realm could be considered a real world, or it could be considered a false world. It is called a real world because everything one experiences here can be indistinguishable from the real world. It is called a false world because all the matter in this world does not exist in reality. It is like a dream, an illusion, and even everything seen, smelled, touched, and felt in this world can be artificially controlled. Xiong Yu knew that his physical body was still on the bed in Songyang High School, only his consciousness had come to the spirit realm. Like the students around him, he was randomly selected from the many students in Songyang City participating in the exam to be in this classroom. He glanced at the classroom environment, but Xiong Yu couldn't distinguish any difference from reality. He thought, I hope I don't get stuck here halfway through the exam, ending up with all the high school students in the city trapped in a virtual online game. A place similar to a virtual network world. This was Xiong Yu's understanding of the spirit realm after learning about some of its information. It was just that Kung Shu used immortal techniques to achieve this. Of course, Xiong Yu also understood that he still knew too little about the spirit realm, and his understanding was definitely one-sided, but it was enough for him for now. In front of everyone, a thin man wearing an owl mask was standing behind the podium, looking at them. Li Xingyu scanned the examinees before him. In the next moment, from his own perspective, each examinee's number, name, and high school appeared above their heads. Sigh, I hope this finishes quickly so I can get off work early. As a soul cultivator from Mangshan High School, with no physical body, and only a soul remaining, Li Xingyu was long accustomed to his daily life in the spirit realm. Because of the special nature of soul cultivators, they didn't need to participate in this Tao Heart exam. Instead, they were caught by the teachers to be proctors. Thinking about his remaining 45 hours of work today, he couldn't help but sigh. Suddenly, as he was inspecting the examinees, his gaze froze and he looked towards Xiong Yu's direction. It's him. Li Xingyu remembered that at Li Zulian's art exhibition that day, this security guard was the one who stood out and triggered the anomalies in the heavenly human martial arts diagram. From Songyang High School? Interesting. I'll record his exam process. Maybe I can sell it to the principal as a good piece of research information. After paying a little attention, Li Xingyu took a few steps forward. With each step, several identical copies of him split off. By the time he took the 10th step, there was a Li Xingyu standing in front of every examinee. This kind of spirit realm clone technique was commonplace for soul cultivators like Li Xingyu. Xiong Yu looked at the proctor wearing the owl mask in front of him, and speculations arose in his mind. The strength of one's will is a manifestation of Tao Heart. To determine the Tao Heart level, one generally tests the strength of one's will. Therefore, the Tao Heart exam mainly tests willpower, at least in the key refining stage. However, there are many ways to test the strength of each person's will. To avoid examinees from conducting targeted training in advance, causing errors in the test, the specific questions for each Tao Heart exam are different. According to what Xiong Yu knew, the higher the level of the exam, the more resources are invested in the Tao Heart exam, and the more complex the exam content the examinees experience in the spirit realm. After all, more complex and diverse experiences can more accurately detect the condition of the examinees. This is a monthly exam. Xiong Yu thought. Based on previous experience, it shouldn't be too complex. At the same time, Li Xingyu reached out to him, and in his palm, there was something that looked like a mobile phone. Take this. At the same time, all the Li Xingyus spoke at once. Today's Tao Heart exam content is very simple. Pain. For the next 60 minutes, the controller in your hands can adjust the pain level on your body at any time. During these 60 minutes, the higher the pain level and the longer it is maintained, the higher your ranking will be. The Tao Heart exam is scored according to ranking, So the specific score not only depends on oneself, but also on the level of other examinees. The Xiong City Dao Heart Monthly Exam, for example, is scored according to the ranking of all high school students in the city. The real college entrance exam, on the other hand, is scored according to the ranking of all college entrance exam candidates in the entire first layer of Kongshu. Also, if the pain level exceeds your tolerance and causes you to faint, your consciousness will immediately exit the spirit realm, and your score will be treated as 0. After explaining the content of the exam, Li Xingyu pointed his finger, and a 10-second countdown appeared in the sky of the spirit realm. Timing starts in 10 seconds. Zhang Yu looked at the controller in his hand that resembled a mobile phone and saw that the screen displayed pain level 0, pain level 1, pain level 2, pain level 3. The only two buttons on the controller represented up and down, which could continuously adjust from pain level 0 upwards or downwards, changing the pain level he felt at any time. Zhang Yu felt pain all over his body just looking at it. Which bastard came up with this exam question? Is the person who set the question going to die? Don't tell me there are fire burning level, chicken severing level, and slow slicing level in these pain levels. Are we having our own little horror show in Xiong City? The thing Zhang Yu hated the most was suffering, and what he hated even more was someone forcing him to suffer. Unfortunately, since he came to Kongshu and embarked on the path of cultivating immortality, he had been constantly suffering, eating mouthful after mouthful. At this moment, Zhang Yu felt disgusted. The resistance in his heart reached an extreme. Noticing this, Zhang Yu's eyes narrowed, and he thought to himself, but then again, as a high school student cultivating immortality, studying, cultivating, and taking exams are my duties. If I suffer more now, I can earn more money in the future. I love studying, I love exams. After cheering himself up, Zhang Yu felt a little more energetic, and the pain controller in front of him seemed a little more pleasing to the eye. What is will? What is thought? What is Dao Heart? The Dao Heart teacher talked about many things. From ancient times to the present, some people worship gods, some worship demons, and some worship people. Establishing various different thoughts, and using different thoughts in conjunction with mental cultivation methods to improve Dao, heart, and willpower. The latest novel is first published on LiQSHB. In Zhang Yu's understanding, will is the ability to endure hardship, and the stronger the willpower, the more hardship one can endure. Using thought to enhance willpower is a way of thinking that tells oneself that there are benefits to enduring this hardship, so that one can endure even more hardship. At this moment, Zhang Yu was using some small thoughts to comfort and encourage himself, hoping to get a better score later. Zhang Yu had many such small thoughts, and everyone had many. However, Zhang Yu did not yet possess truly long-lasting and systematic thoughts, nor had the school's Dao Heart class taught him. That was something that each student needed to establish by combining textbooks, personal experiences, and their own cultivation techniques. The strength of will displayed by cultivators can be used to score their Dao Heart level. The thoughts in the hearts of cultivators can be combined with mental cultivation methods to improve their Dao Heart level and further enhance their will. Thought is the core, will is the manifestation, and mental cultivation method is the method. The combination of these three is a cultivator's complete Dao Heart. In the next moment, as the countdown in the sky completely reached 0, the many students present began to operate the controllers, some letting out a scream, some with distorted faces, some taking a cold breath. When Zhang Yu adjusted the pain level to 1, he felt like a steel needle had pierced into his palm. He quickly used the level 1 basic heart refining method taught in the Dao Heart class, trying to stabilize his spirit. Emptiness, nothingness, egolessness. The basic heart refining method is a mental cultivation method that stabilizes emotions, maintains calmness, and gradually enters a meditative state. Through long-term practice, the Dao Heart level will rise and willpower will become stronger and stronger. This level 1 basic heart refining method was the mental cultivation method that the original Zhang Yu had learned before Zhang Yu came to this world. But because he had been busy improving his magic power, physical strength, Zhutian key gathering method, healthy body 36 forms, and freehand combat all along, he had not yet had time to improve this mental cultivation method. At this moment, when Zhang Yu used the basic heart refining method, he felt his heart gradually calm down, and his tolerance for pain seemed to be much stronger. Immediately, he increased the pain level to level 2. Hiss. Zhang Yu felt like his other hand had also been pierced by a steel needle. But he could still endure it. So Xiong Yu increased the pain level one level at a time. When the pain level reached 37, he felt like 37 steel needles had been pierced through his hands and feet. At this moment, Xiong Yu's face was distorted. No matter how hard he tried to use the basic heart refining method, he couldn't feel even a little bit of calmness. Peaceful mind and calm breath. Peaceful mind and calm breath. Peaceful mind and calm breath. Quiet your mind and focus your spirit, silently endure, silently persevere, dripping water pierces through stone. The basic heart refining method must be combined with this kind of thought system, to maximize its effectiveness. This is also the norm for improving Tao heart. Only when one's own thoughts and mental cultivation method match can the effect of improving Tao heart be the best. But what peaceful mind and calm breath, quiet your mind and focus your spirit, silently endure, silently persevere, dripping water pierces through stone. This set of things simply did not fit Xiong Yu's personality. At this moment, he just wanted to immediately, right away, kill the person who set this Tao heart exam question. Just as Xiong Yu felt that he had reached his limit, the content of the heavenly martial heart refining art suddenly appeared in his mind. Fist, palm, leg, spear, knife, sword. One figure after another suddenly appeared in his mind, carrying the killing intent to break through millions of troops, the fighting spirit to never regret dying 9 times, the courage to move forward without hesitation. These were what suited his heart. Although Xiong Yu, whose Tao heart level was insufficient, had not truly mastered the heavenly martial heart refining art. But at this moment, just recalling the thoughts in this martial art made Xiong Yu suddenly raise a surge of momentum in his heart. He was like a small soldier following behind a peerless martial general. Seeing the majestic posture of the martial general in front of him, he mustered up courage and cheered up his spirit. At this moment, the pain of those steel needles piercing through his body was not so unbearable. A grim smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. After I climb up, I must beat the person who set this question to his knees and beg for mercy. Spirit realm. Xiong, who was beside him, had been observing Xiong Yu's condition. When he saw Xiong Yu's pain level reach level 37, he felt that the other party had reached his limit. He won't be able to hold on in this state. He glanced at the top of the other party's head, and from Xiong perspective, the other party's heartbeat, breathing, and other parameters were displayed. He has reached the limit of endurance, and the pain level should be lowered. This level still seems to be within the scope of a level 1 Tao heart, right? There's nothing special about it, yet he can comprehend the mysteries of the celestial martial arts diagram. Just as Xiong was thinking this, he felt the aura on the other party's body suddenly change. The originally distorted expression gradually returned to normal, and even a grin appeared. Ha! He held on. The feeling this aura gives is like the martial arts on the celestial martial arts diagram. Xiong looked at Xiong Yu's state in surprise, watching him hold on minute by minute, until the 60 minutes were over. He was even more surprised in his heart, calculating, with this level of willpower, his Tao heart is about to reach level 2. Although he hasn't mastered the martial arts on the celestial martial arts diagram, it seems that he can also use some of the mysteries he comprehended from it to improve his willpower. This guy is a bit powerful. The information should be able to sell for some money. Thinking of this, Xiong had already described Xiong Yu's information in words, and then posted it on the information website, setting the price at 1,000 yuan. But after thinking about it, he changed the price of 1,000 yuan to 10,000 yuan. Then he wrote shocking. An unparalleled martial arts genius appears in Songyang High School in the title. Taking off the spirit realm mask, Xiong Yu stood up tremblingly. Even though he had already left the spirit realm, he still had a tingling sensation all over his body. On the bed next to him, a student was about to stand up, but his legs gave way and he fell back to the ground. Similar scenes were happening on the surrounding beds, obviously all sequelae from the spirit realm that had not yet subsided. Some students immediately opened their personal medicine bottles and took out a pill. Xiong Yu guessed that it should be a Tao heart buffer. Although relying on exercises like the basic heart refining method and the celestial martial heart refining technique, coupled with thoughts that conform to the exercises, can gradually improve the Tao heart level. But many students still choose to take Tao heart buffers. This drug can adjust neurotransmitters and brain secretions, improve mood and motivation, and more effectively improve willpower and Tao heart level. However, Dao heart buffers are not without side effects. The higher the quality of this drug, the stronger the effect. Then not only is the price more expensive, but the addictiveness is also stronger, and the side effects after stopping the drug are even more terrifying. Often, once you take it, you need to maintain it for a long time. Otherwise, once you stop taking it, it will lead to a regression of your Dao heart. The original Xiong Yu had his level, which was close to level to Dao heart, gradually regress because he didn't have the money to continue the medication. Until recently, after a series of training and comprehension of the celestial martial heart refining technique, Xiong Yu felt that he had returned to that level close to level to Dao heart. And the current Xiong Yu doesn't plan to touch Dao heart buffers anymore. Compared to taking medicine, he now believes more in his potential and self-discipline. But at this moment, there was no more time for everyone to rest. There was a second exam in the morning, and many students could only cheer up and rush to the next exam room. Arriving at the magic power exam room, Xiong Yu saw that many assistant teachers and testing instruments were ready. When it was Xiong Yu's turn, detection patches were attached to his arms, chest, and abdomen, and then he began to operate his magic power according to the teacher's requirements, transporting the magic power from the dantian to the palm of his hand. The magic power test at this moment was obviously more precise and accurate than usual, in order to avoid problems with the monthly exam results. In addition to detecting the total amount of magic power running in Xiong Yu's body, the patches would also be used to detect Xiong Yu's magic power running efficiency each time. This was also to prevent candidates' magic power from being simply piled up with money and lacking quality. Xiong Yu could clearly feel that compared to the torment of the Dao heart exam, many students were obviously not so nervous during the magic power exam. After all, everyone's magic power level had already been determined before the exam, and it had nothing to do with on-the-spot performance. Magic power is either there or it isn't. You either know how to use it, or you don't. Just as Xiong Yu finished the inspection, the assistant teacher in charge of recording the data exclaimed in surprise and couldn't help but take a few more glances at Xiong Yu. Xiong Yu asked, "Teacher, is something the matter?" The assistant teacher quickly shook her head. Nothing. She just muttered in her heart, such a high magic power running efficiency. He must be another rich person who's going to die. Lunchtime. The cafeteria was full of students like walking corpses. Some hadn't recovered from the sequelae of the Dao heart exam, some were worried about not doing well in the exam, and some were thinking about whether to commit suicide. Bai Zhenzhen also sighed and sat down. Birth. The person who set the questions for this Dao heart exam is so outrageous that he doesn't even want a horse anymore. Is he going to open a question evaluation online, and then put his phone on vibrate mode, and stuff it in his crotch? With more than 2 minutes of non-repeating scolding, Bai Zhenzhen stopped and took a bite of rice until Zhu Tianyi walked over. Xiong Yu believed that similar scolding must be floating in the sky above various high schools in Songyang City at this moment. As soon as Zhu Tianyi sat down, he couldn't help but say, "Have you heard? Several high schools have people who have emotionally collapsed." Xiong Yu and Bai Zhenzhen's eyes narrowed, and they instantly looked at Zhu Tianyi. Zhu Tianyi continued, "Because the rules of this Dao heart exam are too strict. For example, some students wanted to get high scores during the exam and accidentally adjusted the pain level beyond their limit and fainted, and were directly kicked out of the spirit realm, and the exam was counted as 0. He shook his head with a look of emotion. Some people can't stand it after waking up and directly collapse. 0 points. Bai Zhenzhen said quietly in her heart, "It's simply the highest humiliation in high school, and from then on, they completely lose the right to survive in school. I would collapse too. It's best to kill the person who set the questions before collapsing." Xiong Yu asked, "Then in this way, the person who set the questions is not feeling well, right? If there is a rich person inside, then his parents must be madly retaliating against the person who set the questions." Zhu Tianyi looked at Xiong Yu as if he were an idiot. "How is that possible?" "Xiong Yu, you mean the rich parents can't take revenge either? The person who set the questions has a very strong background." Zhu Tianyi shook his head. "I mean, how could something happen to a rich person in school? Everyone has paid a security fee. As soon as there is a problem, there is a school-wide alarm, and the security guard or teacher immediately saves people. Even if they jump off the building, they will definitely be rescued by the emergency team." He said with a matter-of-fact look. "Even if a rich person wants to die, it must be by other means. Even if they jump off the building in school, they can't die." Looking at Tianyu's eloquent appearance, Zhang Yu had to admit that in this broken Kongshu, the situation might really be like this. After eating, Zhang Yu took advantage of the end of the specialization cooldown and adjusted the specialization of the feather book to the Jutian key gathering method and practiced the breathing method several times. Jutian key gathering method level 8. In the blink of an eye, it was time for the last exam in the afternoon. Physical education exam. In the huge practice field, Wang Hai was sitting on the judging panel. In the following exam process, he and several other physical education teachers from the first year of high school will score all the first-year high school candidates together. He lowered his head and glanced at the list of candidates, his eyes gradually stopping on Zhang Yu's name. Zhang Yu, in his impression, was originally a good student who exercised well every day, took medicine well, and had acupuncture well. He had a serious attitude, and his drug resistance was good. Last month, he had become his observation object. If he could persist, he wouldn't mind training him to become the second Zhao Tianxing, and after getting good results in the future, he would become another signature student of his. But starting this month, for some reason, he began to repeatedly challenge his authority in class, and even came up with the evil slogan of natural body refining. At first, he suspected that the other party had other channels for goods, and someone behind him wanted to compete with him for the market of the first-year demonstration class of Songyang High School. But after Zhao Tianxing's observation and report, he gradually denied this possibility. Then he heard the news that Zhang Yu was accepted as a disciple by a golden core real person spread everywhere. Although Wang Hai is one of the 8 physical education teachers in Songyang High School, he is not qualified to contact the level of golden core real person. He could not determine whether Zhang Yu was really accepted as a disciple by a golden core real person. Just as Wang Hai was thinking about these things, 10 students walked to the stage in front. The students showed off all the muscles on their bodies one by one, and their bodies were covered with various detection patches. Roar, roar, roar. Then, accompanied by beast-like roars, the muscles on the 10 students' bodies suddenly swelled up, and amazing power was erupting from the bulging muscles with veins protruding. The data obtained by the detection patches was quickly displayed on the screen in front of the physical education teachers, informing them of the power that each piece of flesh and blood on these candidates had just exploded. This was different from the rough whole-body detection of physical strength in the past. Instead, it was a refined test of the physical strength of each part of the body, while the candidates were exerting force. At the same time, Wang Hai and others quickly scanned the candidates' bodies, combined with the shape of the flesh and blood, the structure of the body, the state of the eruption, and combined with the data just obtained, to score the candidates on the spot one by one. Physical strength is not the only measure of scores in the physical education monthly exam. The dimensions, size, and structure of each piece of flesh and blood throughout the body are very important. Which is a more suitable structure for exerting force? Which is a more useful muscle in actual combat? Which is a living muscle? Which is a dead muscle? All need experienced judges to evaluate in combination with the data. After all, even if the physical strength is comparable, differences in body structure and size will cause huge differences in the body's strength, speed, and even combat performance. Wang Hai had long been familiar with this. As the 8's physical education teacher, he had seen countless white flour meat blocks weighing 200 pounds and 300 pounds in the past few decades, and even giant beasts weighing 500 pounds. After a glance, he recorded his score, and he remembered what he had just said about Zhang Yu. Then let's see your score. If your score drops a lot after being isolated for 3 weeks, then it means that you must not be a golden core disciple. Then, thinking of this, a hint of coldness had already flashed in Wang Hai's eyes. Everyone who affects his shipments should be expelled. Inside the male examinees' preparation room, accompanied by the warm-ups and preparations of the examinees, the smells of sweat, feet, and grease constantly permeated the cramped space. Zhang Yu endured the unpleasant odors in the preparation room, while continuously applying the Vajra he had bought to various parts of his body, making the lines of his muscles more defined. Thinking that a jar of this Vajra cost more than 100 yuan, and that he had to use a whole jar for each exam, Zhang Yu applied it even more carefully, afraid of wasting a single bit. This damn school sells essential exam supplies so expensively. But Zhang Yu dared not buy it. Although this Vajra had no body tempering effect, it could make the muscle lines and physical structure all over his body more obvious, making it easier for the body tempering exam judges to score. And without applying this oil, if the judges' eyes were to fail them, and they didn't clearly see the examinee's flesh and bloodlines, it would be a huge loss to get a low score. Moreover, based on Zhang Yu's current understanding of the kung shui world, he strongly suspected that the school's business of selling this vice regi must have shared a lot of money with the judges, and maybe not applying the oil would directly result in a maliciously low score. Zhang Yu called out behind him, "Old Zhao, help me apply some to my back." "All right." Zhao Tianxing dipped his hand in the vice regi in Zhang Yu's hand and applied it to the other's back. At the same time, he looked at Zhang Yu's physical condition, and thought to himself, Zhang Yu's physical strength level seems to be quite high. Although Zhang Yu was taking a balanced development route of strength, speed, and agility, which was different from Zhao Tianxing's strength development route, he had never eaten pork, but he had seen pigs run. As a core student who often followed Wang Hai's classes, Zhao Tianxing had naturally seen many excellent body tempering, top students. Looking at Zhang Yu's muscles at this moment, and feeling the touch that was like marble, he could clearly feel that Zhang Yu's physical strength was definitely not low. It seems a bit higher than mine. But how is that possible? He clearly doesn't have a guiding teacher for physical education class. Before long, Zhang Yu, Zhao Tianxing, and a group of 10 others, glistening with oil, arrived at the examination hall with their detection patches. The 5 physical education teachers below the stage swept their gazes over them, and Wang Hai's gaze paused on Zhao Tianxing and Zhang Yu, before he said, "Begin." "Ha! Ha!" roared. Accompanied by bursts of loud shouts, the examinees on the stage took turns erupting with the physical strength of their entire bodies, expanding their muscles, and wantonly releasing the violence within their flesh and blood. The high platform under their feet also creaked with a bang, as if some parts of the platform could not withstand the trampling of these waves of body-tempering monsters. At the same time, the power data detected on the patches was quickly transmitted to the judges' screens. Wang Hai first looked at Zhang Yu's data. The right arm muscles erupted with 443 kilograms of force, the left arm muscles erupted with 422 kilograms of force. So much progress in a few weeks? What kind of demonic beast medicine did he take? Is his physical structure about to be destroyed? Seeing this data, Wang Hai's eyes narrowed, and he immediately looked up at Zhang Yu, on the stage again. At the same time, the 10 students on the stage had just erupted with their physical strength, when they felt 5 cold gazes sweeping towards them. If you looked from the stage to the stage, you would feel like you were seeing 10 body-tempering beasts, with a surging momentum. But for the students on the stage, when they looked at the 5 physical education teachers below the stage, they felt like they were being stared at by 5 terrifying behemoths. The cold gazes and critical eyes were like 5 behemoths picking and choosing in front of a butcher shop, selecting which piece of meat on their bodies to eat. At this moment, Zhao Tianxing only felt that he was a lamb to be slaughtered in front of the 5 teachers and could only try to support his flesh and blood and do his best to unleash his strength. But Zhang Yu's feeling on the other side was completely different from his classmates. He only felt that at this moment, he was instantly stared at by 5 pairs of fiery eyes, which made his goosebumps rise. At the same time, a physical education teacher below the stage had already exclaimed, "Good skeleton. Beastback, demon chest, magic arms. I didn't expect that among the first-year students, someone has already adjusted their body structure so well." Another physical education teacher said with a look of covetousness, "Look at his legs, you can tell at a glance that the bone joints have been shaped through thousands of trials and tribulations. This foundation is so good. He will definitely soar into the sky in the future. Why don't I have such a good student?" Yet another physical education teacher patted Wang Hai on the shoulder and said, "Teacher Wang, is this another key disciple you are cultivating? This structure is adjusted to well. Such excellent shaping must have taken a lot of effort. Your year-end bonus is guaranteed this year." Wang Hai, who was just thinking about whether to give Zhang Yu a maliciously low score against his conscience, smiled awkwardly and did not answer after being patted on the shoulder. But in his gaze towards Zhang Yu, there was still a trace of admiration that could not be suppressed. He couldn't help but think in his heart, although drug sales are my main business, but as a physical education teacher, Wang Hai couldn't bear to give such a jade-like body a low score. This body is simply a work of art. What's more, the physical education teachers who had just spoken had also blocked his path to randomly giving low scores. So, after scoring Zhang Yu fairly, Wang Hai's eyes flashed with a hint of ruthlessness. Such a big improvement in a short period of time, especially adjusting the body structure so well. In this way, Zhang Yu is probably really a golden core disciple. Since this is the case, I can only use my last resort. Dinner time. Inside the cafeteria. Because he had started practicing the 8th level of the Zhoushan Qi gathering method again today, Zhang Yu's appetite had suddenly decreased a lot, and he was about to finish the food on his plate with just a few bites. But just then, a huge shadow covered his body. Wang Hai sat down in front of him like a mountain with a thud. Then Wang Hai smiled at Bai Zhenjin. Next, to him Bai Zhenjin, can you let me have a few words with Zhang Yu alone? Bai Zhenjin looked at Zhang Yu, and after seeing Zhang Yu nod to her, she sat down a dozen meters away, looking at the two of them with a curious expression. Zhang Yu's gaze towards Wang Hai also carried a trace of vigilance. After all, the relationship between the two parties was really not good. But Wang Hai said, let's add a contact method. We haven't added each other yet. After being 80% sure that the other party was a golden core disciple, Wang Hai decided to use his last resort, giving gifts. He wanted to repair his relationship with the other party by giving gifts. But what gift to give became a new problem. Wang Hai was able to get to where he is today, so he naturally did not lack the wisdom to give gifts. The first thing he thought of was naturally body-tempering drugs. After all, as a drug salesman, giving people samples, experimental products, prohibited items, that was all easy to come by, and it was almost a path dependency. But after a second thought, he rejected this option. Zhang Yu himself said that he is a natural body-tempering practitioner, so whether it's true or false, wouldn't giving him body-tempering drugs be slapping him in the face? No, no. So after a second thought, Wang Hai thought of body-tempering techniques. As a top physical education teacher, his other important income besides drug sales came from giving lessons and tutoring. Helping some people's children with tutoring and teaching body-tempering techniques has always been his best way to build relationships. But he quickly rejected this option again. What are the few techniques that I have the right to spread to the current Zhang Yu? After all, he is a golden core disciple. How could he lack a high school physical education teacher's techniques? Thinking about it, it's still necessary to give. At this moment, after adding the contact information, Wang Hai said again, Zhang Yu, you did very well in today's exam. The teacher thought that there was nothing that could be taken out, so I'll transfer some money to you. This is a little bit of my heart, don't dislike it. Picking up the vibrating phone and finding that it was a transfer message from Wang Hai, Zhang Yu's heart moved. Giving me money to ease the relationship. Want to write off the matter of isolating me with a little money. Zhang Yu had looked down on this kind of money transaction since his previous life, and at this moment, while clicking into the transfer message, he wanted to make a disdainful expression, but found that he couldn't make it no matter what. Received a transfer of 66,666.66 from Wang Hai. Bai Zhenjin, who was more than 10 meters away, looked at Zhang Yu's expression, and thought to herself, what happened? Yuzi can't suppress the corners of his mouth. At the same time, Wang Hai said with a sincere expression, seeing your progress today, the teacher is very pleased. In the past, the teacher's physical education teaching level was low, and I wronged you. The teacher apologizes to you. Seeing Wang Hai about to stand up and bow, Zhang Yu persuaded, teacher, you are also doing it for my good, how can I let you apologize to me? Zhang Yu felt disgusted by his own worldliness in his heart. Damn it, Zhang Yu, how did you become like this? You were bought off by money like this. But this is not a matter of money or not. Old Wang is 70 or 80 years old, and such a proud and face-saving ace teacher apologized to me, so there is sincerity. Seeing Zhang Yu's smile, Wang Hai breathed a sigh of relief, but he felt another heartache when he thought of the 66,000. Although his income was not low, his expenses far exceeded ordinary people, and he never had much money on hand. 66,000 was by no means a small amount for him. But he knew that this was not the time to feel sorry for the 66,000. After all, in front of him was the disciple that the golden core real person Xinghe had just taken in not long ago. Years of experience told Wang Hai that since he was going to give money, he should give it all at once. He grabbed Zhang Yu's hands and earnestly said, in the future, my physical education class will be your physical education class. You can do whatever you want in class. Even if you don't come to class, it's okay. If you want to skip, I'll give you absolute freedom. What is the most respectful performance of a teacher to a student? Wang Hai, who had been teaching at Songyang High School for many years, gave his answer: skip class at will. This is his respect for the golden core disciple. Ah. Zhang Yu was slightly surprised when he heard this, and then he was delighted again. For a self-disciplined student like him, being able to freely arrange class time was indeed a good thing. Wang Hai looked at Zhang Yu's surprised appearance and said meaningfully, hee, after all, you don't need my guidance now. After another burst of polite greetings, Wang Hai said goodbye. Okay, I still have things to do, and you must have a lot of things to do, so I won't disturb you. Listening to Audio Nova. Watching Wang Hai's departing figure, Zhang Yu sighed. He really is a responsible and good teacher. Bai Zhenjin, who was beside him, leaned over and asked suspiciously, what exactly happened just now? There was laughing, shaking hands, and talking. Did Wang Hai suddenly discover that you are his long-lost biological father? Zhang Yu shook his head. There could be many reasons, but ultimately it all comes down to my performance in this monthly exam. Ah Jen, as long as my grades get better and better, and my skills become stronger and stronger, there will be more and more good friends in this world, right? Looking at Zhang Yu's smug look, Bai Zhenjun thought to herself, how many points did Yuzi get this time? Could it be that he surpassed me? That shouldn't be possible. That night, Zhang Yu returned to the suburbs and began to diligently practice the Jutian Qi gathering method as before. His next goal was to raise the Jutian Qi gathering method to level 10. In the blink of an eye, it was the next morning, and Zhang Yu had also raised the Jutian Qi gathering method to level 8. After a day of passive and active breathing exercises, his mana was also improved again, from 11.8 to 11.9. And because of Wang Hai's financial assistance, Zhang Yu's savings, after deducting the expenses of the past few days, suddenly reached more than 72,000 yuan. The first thing Zhang Yu thought about, when he saw this sum of money, was all sorts of ways to spend it. However, he eventually suppressed the various impulses in his heart, planning to see what kind of contract the school would arrange for him after this monthly exam, and then plan how to use the money to improve himself. 4 o'clock in the morning at Songyang High School. Inside the teacher's office. After another ordinary night of staying up late, Sa Haifeng received the report card for this monthly exam. In order to allow students to understand themselves, know their grades, and guide their learning as quickly as possible, the teachers worked overtime to calculate the scores and rankings of all the students who participated in this monthly exam on the night of the exam. Congratulations, congratulations. Su Haifeng looked at the specific rankings and scores. First place, by Zhenjin, total score 651. Su Haifeng nodded slightly, thinking, Bai Zhenjin is still the undisputed first place, but it's a pity that her Dao technique is only 60 points, otherwise her total score would be even higher. Second place, Qian Shen, total score 626 points. Su Haifeng thought, Qian Shen has been steadily improving, especially the 80 points in Dao technique, pulled up a lot of his score. Third place, Zhang Yu, total score 620 points. Su Haifeng was slightly stunned, rubbed his eyes, and looked at it carefully again. Third place, Zhang Yu, total score 620 points. How is that possible? Su Haifeng sat up straight and quickly looked at Zhang Yu's specific scores for each subject. General knowledge 48 points, Dao heart 135 points, mana 142 points, physical education 145 points, martial arts 90 points, Dao technique 60 points. This. Su Haifeng was shocked. This was with Dao technique at 60 points. If Dao technique was just 7 points higher, wouldn't he be able to reach 627 points, surpassing Qian Shen, and becoming second in the grade? In other words, Zhang Yu jumped from 10th place in the grade last time to 3rd place in the grade in one breath. No, according to Su Haifeng's estimation, his score 3 weeks ago should have already regressed to 20th place. During this period, except for mana, the scores of other subjects should have been steadily declining, and the total score should have regressed to nearly 30th place. How could there be such a big improvement? Did he win the lottery? After reading Zhang Yu's score for each subject, Su Haifeng became even more suspicious, especially his mana of 142 points and physical education, actually reaching 145 points. He couldn't help but call Wang Hai wanting to ask what was going on and whether the score for Zhang Yu was marked incorrectly. 4 o'clock in the morning is when the cultivators of Xiong High School are at their most energetic. Wang Hai quickly answered the phone and asked, "What's the matter?" "Teacher Su." Sa Haifeng asked, "I saw here that Zhang Yu's physical education score is 145. Is there something wrong?" Wang Hai's attitude towards Zhang Yu today was very good, but it didn't mean that he had really become a good-tempered person. He was still the gold medal teacher who hated others challenging the authority of his class. Hearing Sa Haifeng's question at this moment, he snorted coldly and directly interrupted the other party's words. "Teacher Su, are you doubting our physical education level or our professional ethics?" As Songyang High School's ace physical education teacher and gold medal salesman, Wang Hai was not afraid of Sa Haifeng at all. "If you have any objection to the grades, then apply for a review. But I can tell you that there is absolutely no problem with Zhang Yu's grades. It is 145 points. Because not only has his physical strength reached level 1.25, which is already among the top of the grade, but the structural proportions of his body are also absolutely excellent. With the foundation he has laid now, his physical strength will definitely become higher and higher in the future, and he will inevitably be a leading figure among this year's students. It is not impossible for him to participate in sports competitions in the future. Sports competitions, like MANA competitions, use examination content that far exceeds the high school curriculum to compete. If you achieve excellent results in it, not only will you receive a large amount of prize money, but you will also have an advantage in college interviews, and you can even get extra points in the college entrance examination. And as Songyang High School, which has produced the city's top sports student, has always had a certain advantage in sports competitions." Hearing Wang Hai's high evaluation of Zhang Yu, Sa Haifeng was even more surprised and asked, not caring about the unkindness in the other party's tone, "Hasn't he not been attending physical education classes properly for the past 3 weeks? How can his grades improve so much?" Hearing this, Wang Hai's old face turned red, and he paused before explaining, "Zhang Yu is different from ordinary students. He has his own development path and knows how to cultivate." Thinking that Zhang Yu was a golden core disciple, and he didn't need him to point fingers, Wang Hai continued, "It was precisely because I saw this that I handed over the physical education class to him to freely develop. Don't say he manages his own classes, he can even skip classes in the future. This is teaching students in accordance with their aptitude." After ending the call with Wang Hai, Sa Haifeng still felt a little unbelievable. Was Wang Hai talking about Zhang Yu? That poor guy? After frowning and thinking for a moment, Sa Haifeng made another call. "Hello. The monthly exam results are out. Zhang Yu is third in the grade, and the score is..." After reporting the scores, Sa Haifeng sighed and said awkwardly, "I have to say, my judgment of Zhang Yu was completely wrong. With his performance, it is normal for the school to give him a B level, or even an A level contract. That's not my responsibility. It is estimated that the people from the student union will talk to him in a few days." A male voice came from the other end of the phone. "I know. Try to help me delay the student union as much as possible. I'll try other methods." Su Haifeng said, "You know the people in the student union. I can't delay them. Do what you want to do as soon as possible." 6:30 in the morning. The gate of Songyang High School was already crowded with students coming to school. As soon as Zhang Yu entered the school gate, he saw the monthly exam results updated on the huge screen at the school gate. What student privacy, psychological burden, these naturally do not exist in our Songyang High School. Not only will it be displayed heavily on the big screen at the school gate, but also the new monthly exam results of the whole class will be posted on the door of each class, and even the electronic screens in the cafeteria are constantly jumping with the ranking of results. Even Zhang Yu can hear the broadcast talking about this monthly exam while going to the toilet, praising students with high total scores and great progress, while insulting students with large regressions and low total scores. Our Songyang High School highlights a no dead angle, no privacy, full psychological burden. Dear students, today we would also like to especially congratulate Zhang Yu, a student in the first-year demonstration class. Student Zhang Yu jumped from the original 10th place in the grade to the 3rd place in the grade this time, with a total score of 620 points, an increase of a full 70 points, which can be described as a leap forward progress. After Zhang Yu finished using the toilet, He nodded secretly while washing his hands and listening to the content of the broadcast. The school's wide publicity of results still has a positive side, and there are some merits. When Zhang Yu entered the classroom next, he was surrounded by a large number of people, and people constantly swept their eyes towards him, with various emotions in their eyes. Qian Shen looked at Zhang Yu, and then at Bai Zhenjin. The scores of 620 and 651 of the two floated back and forth in his eyes, overshadowing the other students around him. Sure enough, besides this Bai Zhenjin, this Zhang Yu will also be my opponent, in the 3 years of high school. Qian Shen felt that he seemed to have seen the scene where the three of them competed fiercely, and it was difficult to determine the outcome in the next 3 years, and finally were admitted to top universities together. It's getting fired up. He couldn't wait to take out his talisman book, and started learning talismans again. Talismans are my advantage subject, but this time I only got 80 points, I still have to practice. On the other side, He Daiwu looked at his scores with a gloomy expression. Total score 603. Martial arts 50 points. The martial arts score of 50 points was so dazzling that he felt a surge of blood and wished he could smash the desk in front of him into powder with one punch. Obviously, because of repeated defeats at the hands of Zhang Yu, coupled with the clumsy performance of being killed into matches, He Daiwu's martial arts score was so low. This made him couldn't help but feel a trace of killing intent in his eyes when he looked at Zhang Yu. However, as the son of the school director, he quickly suppressed this impulse. Every poor ghost is a valuable resource for the school. How can I do it? Don't be angry, Zhang Yu should have been targeted by the student union now, right? I am not on the same track as him at all. I can't let him disrupt my spirit. I still have to focus on improving myself. He circulated his mental method to slowly calm down his emotions. He also understood that he and Zhang Yu were not competing on the same path at all, and he should not be affected by the other party's state, affecting his grades, just like this time's martial arts score of 50 points. Improving your strength and assets is ultimately the right way. This time's Dao technique is 90 points, although it is already my advantage subject, there is still room for improvement. Thinking of this, He Daiwu took out the talisman book and no longer cared about the changes around him, focusing on learning. Beilong High School. As one of the 3 famous high schools in Songyang City, alongside Xian High School, Beilong High School boasts a long history and abundant financial resources. Whether it's the number of awards won in competitions each year, the number of students admitted to the top 10 universities, or the number of students who break down, it holds a dominant position in Songyang City. In fact, for many students at Beilong High School, what 3 famous schools? Songyang City only has one famous school, and that's Beilong High School. At this moment, in the cafeteria of Beilong High School, Zhang Pianpian was eating while flipping through her register of talismans, studying her newly purchased talisman textbook. Just then, a petite girl sat down in front of her, and said mysteriously, "Pian Dao, I heard an interesting piece of news, want to know? You treat me to a meal and I'll tell you." Zhang Pianpian said without looking up, not interested. The girl chuckled and said, "Your brother was quite the star at Central Mansion last time, but it's a pity he wasn't accepted by a golden core cultivator in the end. Don't you want to know any news about him?" Zhang Pianpian frowned slightly and said, "It's only worth a 9 yuan poor man's meal at most. Any more expensive and I won't listen." That's enough, that's enough." The girl laughed, "It's rare for Pian Bao to treat me to a meal. No one in the class would believe it if I told them." Seeing Zhang Pianpian's impatient expression, the girl continued, "The news was told to me by my friend at Songyang High School. Your brother got 3rd place in the grade in this monthly exam, with a total score of 620. Zhang Pianpian was surprised and said, 620 points. Are you sure this news is true? Guaranteed authentic. The girl said, this score is enough to get into the top 15 in our high school. Not bad. Didn't you say your brother didn't have the talent? Now it seems like he's not bad. A hint of doubt flashed in Zhang Pianpian's eyes. My judgment will never be wrong. He doesn't have the talent to climb the immortal path. It seems like something happened to him during this period. The girl asked, the student council of Songyang High School is probably going to keep an eye on him now. Aren't you going to help him? Zhang Pianpian lowered her eyes and said indifferently, let's see what he chooses. If he's willing to sign a contract with the student council, at least he can have an easier time in high school. Are you testing him? The girl curled her lips and said, Isn't that too strict? How many students can withstand the pressure from the student council? Zhang Pianpian said coldly, if he can't withstand it, then he'll walk the path he can withstand. Otherwise, helping him would only harm him. What kind of stuff he's made of will ultimately depend on what kind of choices he can make. Songyang High School. Zhang Yu could clearly feel that the atmosphere of the entire school had changed. During breaks between classes, some unfamiliar classmates started to greet him. Zhang Yu, your physical strength has improved so quickly. Is it really natural body refinement? Zhang Yu, can I borrow your martial arts theory exam paper? In the hallway, students from other classes who didn't know him pointed at him. Look, that's Zhang Yu that teacher Lei was talking about. Sigh, these monsters in the demonstration class really don't give people a chance to live. In martial arts class, teacher Lei Jin repeatedly played the video of him defeating He Daiyu. He even had Zhang Yu explain his combat thinking at the time, which made the blood in He Daiyu's body surge, his heart beat more and more powerfully, and he became younger and younger. In the cafeteria, some students began to deliberately walk around Zhang Yu, seemingly secretly looking at what dishes he was eating. There were also some students who didn't have much interaction with him who wanted to eat at the same table with him. At dinner time, Zhang Yu simply called Zhao Tianxing over and pulled him, and by Zhenjin, to eat together. After all, Zhao Tianxing alone could occupy 2 seats, and the 3 of them just filled the entire table. As for that kid Zhitiani, he didn't know what he was doing today. He left the school as soon as class was over, and didn't come to eat dinner with them. Zhao Tianxing had also eaten with them several times during this period, and had gradually become familiar with Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin. Zhang Yu even discovered that in front of Zhao Tianxing, Bai Zhenjin seemed to be much more open than in front of Zhu Tianyi. At this moment, he heard Zhao Tianxing complaining, how long is the cafeteria's electronic screen going to display the monthly exam scores? It's not convenient to check the price when ordering food now. Zhang Yu took a bite of his meal and sighed, little Zhao, that's because your vision is too narrow. The school is displaying the monthly exam scores to urge everyone to study hard. I think it's fine to display them for a few more days. Bai Zhenjin also nodded slightly. After all, exams are our students' duty. How can the importance of displaying scores be compared to the mere price of dishes? Zhao Tianxing looked at the 2 people in front of him speechlessly, especially Zhang Yu. Then he suddenly realized that Zhang Yu was no longer the student whose monthly exam ranking was similar to his. The 2 sides were no longer in the same campus class. Those behaviors that deeply stung other students, crazily put pressure on other students, and incited students to fight fiercely internally, were now a blatant display of achievement for Zhang Yu. Zhang Yu was clearly criticizing these inhumane behaviors of the school, with me a few days ago. Now he's become like this. He sighed in his heart, could it be that people really change so quickly after their scores are high? Bai Zhenjin looked at Zhang Yu and smiled, Yuzi, you seem to be in a good mood. More than just good. Zhang Yu now felt like he was bursting with joy. He had never felt that the scenery of Songyang High School was so beautiful, and the students and teachers were so kind. For him, who had to persevere in hard cultivation every day, this was simply the most beautiful scenery, a rare comfort, and a reward from God for his diligence and self-discipline. Zhang Yu waved his hand modestly, sigh, these are all useless false names. I don't know why everyone likes to come to me. Jen, you've been the first in the grade for so long, why didn't so many people come to play with you? Bai Zhenjin curled her lips and said with a face full of disdain, because my first place makes them unable to see the hope of catching up, and all they feel is the absolute gap in talent. And your sudden progress makes them feel that there is a possibility of imitation. So everyone wants to be good friends with you, and spy on the secret of your improved grades. Bai Zhenjin swallowed a chicken leg in one bite, mercilessly revealing the cruel reality. High school campus, scores are king. A selection of exercises, a paid talisman technique, or a practical combat experience learned from a tutoring class is enough to make countless high school students flock to it, not to mention the mystery of your 70-point improvement in a month. Even the top 10 students in the grade will inevitably be tempted. These students who come to you are not really here to be friends with you. They just want to get the secret of your increased scores, and preferably move that 70-point improvement to their own heads. Zhao Tianxing wriggled his butt, and the 2 chairs under him made a creaking sound that was overwhelmed. He thought to himself, I was the 10th place this time. and I deliberately approached Zhang Yu before. Could Bai Zhenjin be pointing at me with these words? Although I really want to learn more excellent learning virtues from the two of them, and take the opportunity to ask Zhang Yu the secret to improving his grades so quickly. Thinking of this, he twisted his body even more violently, feeling that the atmosphere on the dining table seemed to become cramped, and he temporarily suppressed the idea of taking the opportunity to ask Zhang Yu the secret to improving. Until he parted ways with Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin, watching the two of them take the bus and the subway respectively. Zhao Tianxing was still thinking about this matter. Is Bai Zhenjin really talking about me? On the bus. Just after getting on the bus, Zhang Yu, who was being squeezed by the people around him, felt his phone vibrate. He took it out and saw a message from Bai Zhenjin. In the next few days, the student council may want to talk to you about the contract. No matter what the conditions are, don't agree to them first. After I talk to them, we'll discuss it together. Looking at the message sent by Bai Zhenjin, Jiang Yu's eyes moved, and he thought in his heart, so the high-level contract is negotiated with the student council. Zhang Yu had never understood the student council of Songyang High School very well. In his concept, what can the high school student council do? But now, judging from what Bai Zhenjin said, the student council is obviously not simple, and even has the power to negotiate contracts with students. I wonder what kind of conditions the contract they give me will be. Judging from Zhen's meaning, does she want to advance and retreat with me? To raise the price together? After thinking for a few seconds without getting any results, and hearing the countdown in his mind ringing, Zhang Yu had to temporarily put aside this kind of wild thought, and started to study the textbooks stored in his phone. However, after reading the textbooks for a while, he didn't know whether it was because of the feedback from the monthly exam results or the upcoming contract. Zhang Yu on the bus today was always a little uneasy and couldn't concentrate on reading. He simply put down his phone and thought about his current path of cultivation. Regarding his thinking in this regard, the power of the ritual did not force anything. After all, thinking about the future, planning cultivation, are all in line with his desire to study hard, cultivate hard, strive to get into university, work hard, and earn money to eventually buy all the antiques in the shopping cart. Next, I'll upgrade the Jutian gathering key method to level 10 first. The next goal is the Tianwu heart refining art, but this martial arts heart method requires level 3 Tao heart, so I can only practice the basic heart refining method first. While upgrading this heart method to level 10, I will also upgrade the Tao heart to level 3, and then practice the Tianwu heart refining art. Then, the only things I can practice are basic breathing exercises, sparring, and basic high school swordsmanship. After confirming the future arrangements in his heart, Zhang Yu thought of his current savings of more than 70,000, and the income he might get after signing the contract in the future, and he couldn't help but have an idea. Should I buy some more powerful and effective cultivation techniques? Zhang Yu didn't have this plan before, because he didn't have money. But after receiving Wang Hai's 66,000 today, Zhang Yu couldn't help but think about how to spend the money. For example, spiritual roots, talismans, practical combat experience. Many things he didn't dare to think about before. He now had some ideas, just waiting for the contract to be negotiated to see how much money he could have in his pocket before making specific arrangements. And at this moment, after thinking about the arrangements for learning cultivation techniques in the future, he couldn't help but have the idea of buying cultivation techniques. Even if I don't buy them, I can take a look first and have a general idea. The phone screen flashed. Zhang Yu opened the shopping website and entered his real name account. After another round of facial recognition, Zhang Yu entered the website for purchasing immortal Tao cultivation techniques, but with his current identity, he could only see the cultivation techniques of the key refining stage. As soon as he entered, he saw a row of recommendations written on the top recommendation bar. Your friends are watching charming maiden great art, for both men and women. Great Dream Heart Sutra can also practice while sleeping. 9 Heavens Quick Success 8 Parts Talisman. That's it for today's chapter. Don't forget to like and follow so you won't miss the next update. Thank you all for listening.